Let's go. I genuinely think it doesn't even need a change. It is what it is, and it's great the way it is and what it does. It's a great, reliable source of transportation that has a fun factor in it for a very attainable price. Hey there, YouTube. Welcome to DM Car Reviews. Today we have a 2020 Nissan Maxima SV on our channel. As always, we're going to take a look outside the car, take it for a quick test drive, do some 0 to 60 Dragy tests, and I will share my final impressions with you about this car. I want to say a huge shout out to Michael at Enterprise Sales of Rockville for providing me this car. If you're on the market for a used car and you're trying to find a good deal and a nice car, reach out to him and he will take care of you. I will attach all his information down below in the description, so you can reach out to him. Well, let's get started. I personally owned a 2017 Maxima back in the college days. That was my main commuter. I got her brand new. It was a crazy deal back in the day. And in a couple of years, I had almost 50,000 miles on her. People constantly complain about CVTs and other things about Nissans, but honestly, I hadn't had a single issue with my Maxima. It was perfect. Everything in that car was perfect. The build quality, there were no rattles, no squeaks. The CVT was flawless. I actually made it up on to almost 50,000 on original brake pads, rotors. I'm 6'2", so sitting in the back here feels awesome. A lot of space, very comfy, great ergonomics. You can put your phone here. The materials feel good. They're not anything like luxury level, but they are very well made. If you do want to go more luxury, you need to get the SR or the Platinum trim, because there it's even nicer inside. There's a good amount of headroom here too. It's a shame that Nissan discontinued this model for this upcoming year of 2024. There will be no more Maxima. And then the Altima is next to get axed, unfortunately. And the Altima was my first car. Nice trunk, a lot of space. You can put a lot of suitcases in the back. And let's take a look at the engine now. The heart of this car. Okay. There we go. We have the VQ35 V6 under the hood. Pumps out 300 horsepower, and it's made it to the CVT. This is actually one of the most reliable engines out there, and it can serve many hundred thousands of miles. And the nice part about these Maximas is how fuel efficient they can be on the freeway. If you're going about 65 miles an hour and you put on cruise control, you can fairly easily get a good 35 to 40 miles per gallon, and that's what I usually did on my commute to college. I would commute to Baltimore every single day, so it was about a 50-mile trip one way, and it was a breeze. Just put on the cruise control and glide. We have USBs, AUX, nice cubbies, outlet, heated seats, sport mode, glove box. This specific version does not have the moonroof. You need to go for the SL to get that. We do have a navigation system. This infotainment was actually updated for 2019. It's a better system. We also have physical dials, which I love. I love physical dials in cars, and I wish more cars have them besides just a touch screen. It's a good responsive screen. Let's look at the backup camera. We have the sensors as well. Let's do a quick wiper test, and shall we start? Let's do a quick horn test. All right. And this is actually the first car that I had. This Altima right here, same exact color. I had the SV trim, but I didn't have the spoiler, but the same molding though. That's funny. And that was a great car too. I drove about 30,000 miles on it before I sold it for the Maxima, and again, no issues with that car whatsoever. I was not the biggest fan of the 2.5 liter pair with the CVT. It was a little bit to the raspier side, but still it was a great solid commuter. The gas mileage, ironically, was about the same for both of the cars. The Maxima and the Altima, they had about the same gas mileage. That's what really surprised me. But I did like the seats. I think the seats in the Altima are a little bit more comfortable, I still think, in my opinion. These seats here feel a little bit more like a Chrysler 300 or a Crown Vic for some reason. But the Altima had incredible seats. They were NASA zero gravity seats, which I believe these are also. And I love the response of this engine, and just the CVT the way it is. Like, it's instant. You give it gas, it goes. There's no lag, nothing. Let's try sport mode. Oh yeah, that sound is so satisfying. It's like a growl. And it feels very quick. Just driving it, it feels like a super quick car. I think I actually had one of the fastest Maximas out there that I've ever timed. My record on my Maxima was a 5.750 to 60. And the quarter mile came in at 13.8 at almost 104 miles an hour for a Maxima. But mine was more basic. It had no sunroof, didn't have any of these features, so it was like the base trim, which also, you know, helps with the weight reduction. And I only put good 93rd gas in there. But that was on a cold day, you know, ideal weather, as ideal as you could get. Obviously in the hotter days you'd be in the 14s. But the best part about this car is not even how it accelerates off a dig, it's about how it gets off a roll. That's where it shines. I've already reviewed a brand new Maxima 2023 SR, so for those curious to watch it, I will also attach the link. But after 75,000 miles, this car holds up very well. It still drives like a brand new car, like feels exactly brand new. I just love the punchiness of this engine. We have the blind spot system. Now let's talk about the ride. It rides super nicely. So it's not the Lexus LS smooth experience. It's probably closer to a 330i in terms of the ride feel, but it is to the comfier side. It is stiffer than a Camry. It's more like the Accord, the way the Accord rides. It's very similar to the Accord, but better. It has a much nicer feel inside. It's got that hood, which kind of reminds me of Infiniti for a bit, like the FX with its sides. I love the flat bottom steering wheel. Audi used to do that too. I don't know why they stopped. It's very good, comfortable. You can grip it any way you like. I personally love it. I think it's awesome. The visibility is great all around the vehicle. We got really nice thin pillars, good side mirrors, blind spot, so it's very easy to see where you're going. There is a little bit of torque steer here when you're flooring it. It's not very major though. you can just feel it a little bit. It's not bad at all. But the throttle response, I love it. So good. I've never really had any issues with my brakes on the car. They do start to fade out around 30,000 of normal driving, so you will feel a little bit of feedback in the wheel afterwards, and they need to be replaced. But for this kind of price and this class of the car, it's still very respectable. Driving this feels very similar to like a Chrysler 300/Charger. Just the feel of it, the way it glides. It's a yacht. And I love how big this car is. It's a shame they're discontinuing this because this is an impressive machine. It's simple, reliable. What else do you need for this kind of price? I've taken trips in this car as well. I've always highly enjoyed them. They felt great. I had a silver on black. It's amazing how fast time flies. It's like, it was all like yesterday. Now, you're not going to get an Audi A8 ride with this car or a BMW 7 Series ride. It's going to be much stiffer than that. And it doesn't feel as luxurious on the ride. It feels, like I said, like maybe like a 3 Series. The A5 is smoother than this car. But it definitely does feel like a 3 Series on the ride. And the handling for just the front wheel drive is very good. Like, it's very instant, very responsive, and it becomes stiffer in sport mode. So if we go to comfort, like the normal mode, you see how it's more floaty, and then when you put it to sport mode, it becomes more stiff and responsive. I love the visibility here though. It's great. It also shows us the speed limits, and we can change up the screen as well. This is my favorite view personally. Oh yeah. She pulls effortlessly. Well, let's check the speedometer accuracy, shall we? So at 63 it shows, at 62 it shows 61. 57, let's see, when we're going 53, it shows 52. So it's off by about 1 mile per hour. So once we get past the light, we will do an acceleration test and see how this car performs. In this kind of weather, it is about 80 degrees outside, and we have a 1500 DA, which is good. It's not a bad DA compared to the other days we've had. And we will see what kind of number we get. Let's hope we can do a 6.5, 6.3. I'd definitely be happy with those results if we could get them to happen. And we shall see. We're going to reset the Dragy, and we should be good to go. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, let's see what we did. So we did 0 to 60 in 7 seconds flat, and then the 1/8 mile at 9.85 at 76.26 miles an hour. This is fairly in line with what it does run in this weather, so the engine is healthy. I feel like we can improve the 0 to 60. What we'll do is we'll actually disable the traction control, and we will turn off the AC, and we will rerun it one more time backwards, like when we turn around. Because I know we can do better. I feel like we can do a 6.5. Let's go. $80 here feels really comfortable. Like, if we disable sport, feels really good. Takes a corner well. The only thing that I did not like at higher speeds is when you're going like 80, the RPMs do get a little bit high. They're like at 3,000 when you're going around 90. All right, but let's do one more 0 to 60. We'll reset the Dragy. Let's check the U-turn radius. 2 lanes. The radius is worse than the X3 has. The X3 has a better U-turn radius, but it's still acceptable. All right, so let's reset the Dragy. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, okay, let's see if this will be any better. No, I don't know if we did better. So we did, oh no, actually we did do better. 6.76, 0 to 60. So we did do better. I think if we could get it to stop fake shifting, we could cut it down to like a 6.5 or 6.4, even a 6.3. If we can get it to stop fake shifting somehow, but that requires some wheel spin, and I'm not able to get any wheel spin right now in this condition, in these conditions. So we will just have to leave it at that. Actually, I'll go straight. Once it spins, the engine, it's really good. It's really quick. And this does have a faster CVT than the Murano. Redline's much quicker. I really think they should have put the same thing in the Murano. It would be way faster, off the line at least. The CVT here is perfect for passing, like if you're going 60, 55, 70 and you gun it, it gets right into the red line, has a lot of torque, a lot of power, and you can perform every maneuver with ease. It's really nice. So as my overall summary and impressions about this car, obviously I've enjoyed it. It gave me a lot of flashbacks to the college days. I think it's a stellar vehicle. It should have never been axed. It, you know, can be in production for the next 5-10 years, and I genuinely think it doesn't even need a change. It is what it is, and it's great the way it is and what it does. It's a great, reliable source of transportation that has a fun factor in it for a very attainable price. I think it's comfortable. The seats are great. The brakes could use some more work in terms of their durability and strength, but it's not a big issue if you're not trying to race everywhere. So it's not, for normal driving, it's more than enough. Steering wheel is amazing. I love the flat bottom. The seats feel great. For CVT, this CVT is magnificent. It's very refined, it's very instant. One of my favorite CVTs out there for cars that have the CVT, obviously. Another CVT that I did like was the Subaru Outback XT. That had a good CVT. But because this doesn't have a turbo, it's very predictable, so you know exactly what it's going to do and how it's going to accelerate when you press the gas. Because on the Subaru, you're like pressing, and then boom, and you're going. But here, you know exactly what it's going to do. And it's going to do it every time. The ride is great. It's compliant. But at the same time, it's not going to make you car sick. It's not too overly smooth like the Tesla Model X that I drove. This car will not make you car sick. I don't think I've ever gotten car sick in the Maxima, ever. So I think it's a very good platform. As far as the handling, it's got good handling and secure handling, takes turns nicely, handles immediately, you know, like you give it input and it goes. Again, this is not a track car, and it doesn't need to be. So it's perfect the way it is. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, and till next time.